Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to the channel. My name is Johannes, and in today's video I'm going to share to you on how I have styled the apartment through lights and lamps. I have applied different kinds of design principles, and I've also learned so much because I made some mistakes, so I'm just learning along the way so that you can learn from my mistakes, hopefully, so that it'll not cost you. I am going to basically show you around the apartment, especially the living area, so we do have an open layout. And I know that for some of you in the past asked me where I got my lamps, and usually they are just from Taobao, and it's a e-commerce, it's like the Amazon for China, and it doesn't make sense for me to send you that link, but what I can do instead is to make sure that I do have close-up shots of the lamps that I have, so that if you're keen to see if it's available in your market, you can just screenshot it and use Google. Alright, so let's begin. There are different kinds of lighting, but three most essential ones to know would be ambient, task, and accent. Ambient would be the likes of general lighting, that would be the overhead ceiling lights that we don't really use. Second is the task, so that would be the likes of lamps for reading or for working, so any kinds of lamps or lights that you want to use to complete your task. And the third one, which is most important and more interesting, is the accent lighting, so that would be the lights that you want to use to highlight whatever it is that you want to highlight. Can be your art pieces, can be books, etc. So that kind of really gives the mood to the place to make it more cozy. Alright, so let us now start the tour, and we will start off here at the entryway. And the reason why we don't like to use ambient lighting or ceiling lights would be, I'll just showcase to you. So this is how it looks like, and it's not exactly flattering. And for me, I also do photography, and when I do portrait shots, I prefer not to, if it's outdoor, I prefer not to time it during noontime, wherein the light is just so harsh and it's just not so flattering. You see a lot of these shadows under the eye, and it's just so harsh, and that is why I have this cute little lamp here instead. But another design principle that I learned is that for a room, you want to at least have 5 to 7 lights to make it more dynamic and more exciting and more cozy. But in this case, maybe I could have some more here to highlight this photo, but honestly, I'm not so bothered because we do have an open layout, and I feel that this is just kind of an extension of the entire living room. And we do have, I've counted, we have already 15 lights in this space. I think I'm supposed to do this kind of video in the evening so that you can see the maximum effect of the lamps to make it more cozy. But then again, we're going to see Mariah tonight, so she's in town and we're going to watch her concert, so I only have this time to film. But anyway, the next is that lamps are basically essentially furniture, and for any piece of furniture you want to make sure that it will match the entire aesthetic or the design style of your apartment. And in this case, I do have more of a mix between scandi and also mid-century. In the previous apartment, actually, I was going for a scandi, purely scandi, so that was the beginning of my home styling journey. And prior to that, I was kind of mixed, and that is why prior to going to that apartment, before building the scandi look, I actually had this lamp. It's a black rod, and there is this cord wrap around it for the lights, and it was an exposed bulb. Well, bulbs there were two actually, and it was more of an industrial looking, and it just didn't fit the place. I tried, but it just didn't fit the aesthetic of the place, so that's why I had to give it away. And also in this apartment, I still made the same mistake. We brought in this green mid-century. We brought in this green mid-century lamp, and I thought that it's going to be perfect because we do have a mid-century look. And green, I do have green, like from the plants, and also I do have some small furniture that are of greens, like here from this painting. But for some reason, it just didn't fit because of, one, it's just bright green, and a lot of my stuff here are muted, and also I guess the material as well, it's just so plasticky. So that's the other thing. If you're going to purchase a lamp, you want to consider three things, for me at least. That would be the design style, and also like if it's more industrial, traditional, boho, or whatever, and also the color and the material, if it's going to fit the apartment. So obviously the green one just did not work out. And another reason actually is because of the direction of the light. When it comes to the direction of the light, I wish I've known this sooner so that I didn't waste any money. But yeah, so it's really important to understand the direction of the light. And going back to the green lamp, and actually to this red lamp, because it's kind of connected. So in the beginning, the red lamp here was actually on this side where the green lamp was, and it was just facing downwards on the floor, and beside it was the plant, and it's just highlighting the top part, the soil part of the plant, which is not exactly pretty to look at. So yeah, I think like when you have a lamp, you want to make sure that it's intentional, that's going to light what you want to highlight and not just random stuff. And so I think that's the reason why the green lamp just didn't work. But yeah, so anyway, I switched things around, and now the red lamp has a purpose. It's more intentional because it's going to be able to illuminate the photo underneath it. And I do love this picture, but it's just that it's a bit too dark. But with the help of the light, it's able to really illuminate it, and you can really see and appreciate the picture. And on this side, I have the Gucci kind of a paper lamp, and it just has a nice diffuse look, and it's able to really illuminate the art pieces on the walls, as well as the plant, as well as the stool beside it. And I think it's a really good look so far. And so yeah, so when you purchase lamps, you want to make sure that they are going to be varied, and also to make it more look dynamic. So far I'm happy with the mix and the variety of the two lamps together, although they're kind of apart. To highlight my personal painting, I've also attached all these three render-friendly spotlights, and it can be controlled with this remote control. So one of the things that I learned as well is that when you're placing different lights across a room, you want to make sure that they are of different heights and levels. And so yeah, so now it's quite balanced. And actually I'm thinking of purchasing one more Akari paper lamp, so I might want to place it here, but it's not urgent, just a thought. This next one is a game changer, and I'm so late in the game, I know, but it was my partner Johnny who actually forced me to do it and change all the light bulbs to a smart LED one. We are using the Philips, and it just made a big change, and it's just so convenient. And we now can adjust the light anytime we want, and we don't have to go through one switch to the other. And now I can just control everything at my fingertips. I can use an app. I use an app called Wiz. It's now on my phone, my iPad, also with my partner, so we can adjust the light simultaneously, and it's just so convenient. I prefer to use two kinds of lights actually. Cozy for late evening, and for around late afternoon, if it's really dark outside, I prefer to use the warm light because I want to be bright but not too cozy yet, if that makes sense. So yes, we do use Philips. I use the multicolor one mainly because the multicolor one is able to go below 3000 Kelvin, and for me personally 3000 is still too bright, and I prefer to go below 2700 to make it really, really cozy. I am really enjoying the smart bulb, really, truly, but for some reason it's not working on this particular lamp. I'll show you. Trying to switch off everything and it works, but this one This one is not exactly the smart bulb, but when I attach it, it's just not working. So it's kind of frustrating, but it's not the end of the world. I've done some research and I just couldn't figure out why it's not working. But obviously, it's working perfectly with a normal kind of a light bulb. For the couch area, I do have a couple of light sources, and I think the rule of thumb would be to have some sort of light source in different kinds of surfaces, like a media console, side table, and I think that's a good start to where to put your lamps. And these two are just basic looking, but they're neutral, and it just kind of blends in smoothly to the background, and it just kind of serves its purpose. I just mentioned that you need to put lamps on all surfaces, but then again, on my coffee table it's kind of empty. But then again, for this entire living area, there's already 7 sources of lights, so I think it's okay. When it comes to placement of different lamps or lights, it can be the walls or surfaces, or it can also be behind a mirror or a TV or whatever it is that you want to highlight. And in this case, before this lamp, actually for this corner, it was kind of dark and we do want the mirror to be here. So what I did was I do have this extra lamp, and I'll show you what looks behind. It's just a strip of lamps and it's facing the wall to diffuse it, to reflect the lights, and to have this kind of nice glowy effect. Just in case you're wondering, the lamp peeking above the mirror is actually a growth lamp. it is for the Ficus altissima beside it because the plant requires plenty of sun and bright light, and this is one of the darkest corner of the room, and that's why I have to have a growth lamp behind the mirror. And usually I use it in the morning because it's a really strong light and it's too jarring to use in the evening. This is my very lush office space. I do like working here once in a while, but honestly I also like to go outside and to work, because otherwise it's just too boring on my own here. But anyway, back to the topic. I do have 4 light sources here, as you've seen earlier, the spotlight to highlight the painting, and I do have this tall one right here. It's from the previous apartment, and it's just a nice tall glowy light, and yeah, because otherwise it'll be too dark this corner. And this one is a new purchase. It's another portable lamp, and I love all these portable wireless lamp, and I can just place it anywhere. And I chose this neutral color so that it can just be placed anywhere. And I do have on this side is a Muji humidifier, and it also acts as a lamp, which is perfect because I do have this gigantic Boston fern, and this plant likes humid kind of an environment, hence the humidifier. And so I think it's just it has a multi-functional kind of a lamp. This is the corridor to the bathroom and to the 2 bedrooms that we have here in this apartment. And as you can see, it can be a bit dark, and that's why I had to make sure that there are still some light sources here from the spotlight, and also to the this one is hay, and it's a portable lamp, as you can see. And don't judge me, it's still a work in progress. I just need to have some time to get some inspiration on what kind of painting I want to have here. This is my old painting. It's still not what I want, so yeah, I'm working on it. That'll be in the future for makeover, and I had to style this table as well. But yes, but today is all about lights. And there you have it, is how I style the apartment through lights and lamps. I hope you learned something out of it, and I would love to hear from you. If you have any comments or suggestions, please feel free to comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video.